stopping an event or ending an event that we already started. An event as big as the National Sports Festival, as a matter of fact, is like our own Olympics, obviously. Yeah, and then we look at all the aims and objectives of the competition. Why we even started the competition some 50 years ago or thereabouts, and you say, are we actually looking at all those things? Are we still standing by them if we are beginning to work this way? Actually, having this kind of competition, there should be a synergy between the federal government and the host state. The host state is also meant to do one or two things. You look at what they did as regards getting that stadium ready for the event and all that. But look at it this way: had it been the sports festival actually went ahead before the Edo elections, would not be having this kind of
absolutely not.
We'll not have this kind of conundrum. You look at it right now and say, why are we having this kind of thing? And then we also look at the Minister of Youth and Sports, who was even at the the opening ceremony of this event and all that. He actually flagged off the event, and he already promised fantastic working relationship with Edo State as regards this. And I don't understand why we've gotten ourselves at this kind of juncture. But then I believe it's just them raising an alarm. Maybe the federal government will come through, but then it's still a very ugly face for our sports in Nigeria.
Very, very ugly face, really. If you talk about sports for development, or sports as a tool for development, or sports as a political tool, because at this point it feels like it's all about the political aspect of it, political tool, and not as a developmental tool there. Okay, there will be a press conference later today, and we're hoping that at the end of the day it will be a different story entirely, because we do not want and we do not expect that the National Sports Festival will come to an end after just 4 days. But to the positive aspect of the news for me is the updates coming from there. That's from Benin. It's medals rushing in for many of the athletes, I want to tell you. But quickly, I'm going to read through some of the updates here, where a first Segbe Gabe of Bayelsa State broke the festival record in swimming 200-meter freestyle women. She finished the race in the time of 2 minutes 17 seconds to clinch her fourth gold medal at the Edo 2020. And of course, the duo of Datuwe Mary, Gaddafi Enye, both won bronze medal for Team Lagos and in the Wushu Kung Fu event of the Edo 2020 Sports Festival. Team Rivers have won 2 golds, 2 silver, 1 bronze medal in judo. The ex-BBN housemate Mike Edwards will be representing Team Rivers at the festival there in high jump event. I mean, highest bidder here, really. Team Delta yesterday were boosted by the arrival of 2 of their foreign athletes, Ese Brume and Peter Moreno. Brume is defending champion of the women's long jump after winning the gold medal in the last festival in Abuja, and of course she'll be hoping to repeat that feat there in Edo State. The World Championships bronze medalist arrived at Benin on Wednesday alongside men's decathlon athlete Peter Moreno. The 2 of them will be competing with Team Delta as the state looks forward to defending the title they won in Abuja 3 years ago. Okay, a few days ago, Asonye Joy was still in the examination hall of the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria before making her way down to Benin immediately after her last papers. And yesterday, she dusted off Latifat Adeyanju of Lagos in the final to claim gold in judo women's 78 kg for Delta State. And after defending her title in the women's 63 kg yesterday, Olympic-bound judo shot Enkuta Enku was named the most valuable female judoka. But here she is with her mom, Enku here, and her mom is also, she's a judoka herself. She was the last woman to represent Nigeria in the Judo Olympics. But both of them are here talking. First, the voice of Enku Enkuta, and then after her mom.
I'm very happy to have won the most valuable athlete female in this National Festival 2020. I have African Tape 42nd African Championship in May, holding in Casablanca. So after this, I'll go and start preparing for that one in Casablanca. Then after that, I prepare for a Grand Slam for the Olympics. She was here to motivate me, and I thank God she was there, because she doesn't really have to say anything. I just have to look at her, she gives signals, and I do what I'm supposed to do. So I'm very happy that she's always here to motivate me.
I wish her the best, and I hope she'll come out tops. Like I always tell her, she has to take everything one at a time. For every challenge she has to think of how to overcome that challenge and then face the next. Nothing is ever difficult when you put your mind to doing it. She'll have more goals.
All right, the voice of Enko Okuta and her mom there. I mean, I can imagine what that family will be feeling like. I mean, this lady is about en route to the Olympics, and here she is with her mom. I like the part where she says she doesn't even have to say anything. All she needs to do is just look at her mom, and you get the signal. I mean, you can't be an African child and not understand the signals.
Definitely.
Really there. But that's the update there from the National Sports Festival. About Team Oyo as well. It's a gold medal rush really for Oyo State. They won Oyo State won our first gold medal for the first time yesterday, and afterwards it was an avalanche of medals there for them. They have 8 medals in total. They were yet to record a single gold medal in the tights, but the tights changed yesterday when Joseph David Oluwadamilare won a gold medal in judo. This is concerning Team Oyo State here now. We're talking about Oyo State medal. David Joseph won gold in judo. Adejoke Durogbade won bronze in cycling. Olayode Awawu won silver in taekwondo. Edward Shinye won silver in karate. Eweji Adeleye won bronze in kung fu. And in total, it's 11 medals for Oyo State. 1 gold, 2 silver, 8 bronze medals already for Oyo State. That's the update there from the National Sports Festival. Quickly, we're moving on Sports Bang this morning to other sporting stories here. Still in Oyo State, Dele Oladejo Southwest Open under 13 and 16 squash championship is set to begin tomorrow at the Ibadan Recreation Club in Sabo. And speaking at a press conference yesterday, Dr. Emmanuel Dele Adedejo, represented by Mr. Abiodun Akinyele, said the championship is meant to serve as a clarion call to all that is concerned to develop productive youth engagement strategies needed to contain and channel the inherent exuberances towards adding positive value to the society. He said, and I quote, "This Squash Open will be a yearly program, and the concept is predicated on the mental and physical smartness required to succeed in the game of squash." Here is Mr. Abiodun Akele speaking here, talking about what they hope to achieve with this tournament.
To develop productive youth engagement strategies needed to contain and channel the inherent exuberances in our youths towards adding positive value to our society. This concept is predicated on the mental and physical smartness required to succeed in the game of squash. This age-group championship is a vehicle to reach out to a vital component of the family in its impressionable and formative stage, thereby rescuing the teenage youth from the clutches of delinquency, a process to reconfigure the psyche towards positive varieties.
Now that's what we expect sports to do for development and, bring these young guns up through the rank. Also, the former champion squash section IRC, Dr. Akimbo Bola-Cole, enjoined the participants to give their best and be good ambassadors of their respective states and encourage them to take their academics seriously. Meanwhile, one of former Nigerian squash players, Oyeni Oyewumi, urged both states and the federal government to invest more into sports other than football. And then he asked investors to earmark 10% of what they spend on football to other sports, which he believes will lead to development in the sector. The tournament is expected to start today and, of course, end on Saturday. Away from that, the Super Eagles, they climbed in rankings yesterday. They moved up 4 places from 36th to 32nd position in the latest FIFA rankings released. The ranking was published on FIFA's official website. The Eagles' 2021 AFCON qualifying games against Benin Republic and Lesotho played a huge role in the rising in the rankings. Of course, we finished the qualifications unbeaten. And in Africa, the Super Eagles are now 3rd behind the Teranga Lions of Senegal, Carthage Eagles of Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, Ghana, Cameroon, Mali, Ivory Coast complete Africa's top 10 ranked countries there. And Belgium remains number 1 team in the world, with France, Brazil, England, and Portugal making the top 5. And still talking Super Eagles, there are players who are waiting to switch allegiance to Nigeria. Ademola Lookman is one of them, alongside Ovie Ejara. Both of them are hoping that before the end of the year, they will be able to play for Nigeria. They were part of England's under-20 World Cup winning squad, but have now opted to represent Nigeria at the senior level. They signed a letter to switch from the Three Lions to the Super Eagles in 2020. Feromi, is this good news?
Well, it is for them because they feel that they might actually get 1 or 2 chances right here playing in the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But then it's one thing for you to switch your allegiance. It's another thing for you to be actually called up into the Super Eagles team. So if their performance will hand them a position or a call-up in the Super Eagles. I think that's time, we'll have to wait and see how that eventually pans out. But hey, I think they're actually making the right choice at this point in time by taking that decision.
And I'm wondering, where's Cyril Dressers?
Well, I
mean, he will blame his luck on coronavirus, really.
Yes, and you also blame that move away from the Dutch league to Belgium. It's been difficult for him. The fact is, he's in the same team with Paul Onuachu there, and Onuachu is getting the nod ahead of him, getting the goal. So it's difficult for him to get into the team right now. But then you look at all these guys. What I always say is that the more the merrier. Ovie Ejaria, look at Ademola Lookman. We've seen Ademola Lookman week in, week out in the Premier League. We've seen Ejaria week in, week out in the Championship as well. Reading. We know the kind of quality these guys have, and they can always bring that competition to the team. But then, do they have enough to usurp the guys we have in the team now? That is left to be seen. But on the long run for these guys, I think it's the best of decisions for them, because they probably would not make it into the Three Lions team. So they have to look at the Super Eagles. I hope they don't see us as an option. I hope
because that is the way it is at this point in time. If they knew that they would have a chance, they wouldn't have actually opted for the Super Eagles. So that's just the way it is.
Okay, let's move on to European scene now. The Italian Serie A, we had 2 games played yesterday. Inter Milan defeated Sassuolo 2-1, and Juventus right after that also defeated Napoli 2-1. Cristiano Ronaldo scored in that game for Juventus, but Inter Milan have now moved 11 points clear, one step closer to ending Juventus' 9-year road of the Serie A title. Fermi, is there a way at this point? They're looking at glory right in front of them.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, could it possibly slip off again?
I think if it does, I think this is going to be a very disastrous season for them if it eventually does, because at this point in time, the only person or the only team that can stop them is Inter themselves, because they're looking so formidable, they're looking so determined, they're looking so consistent in the Italian Serie A, and that is what you need if you're definitely going to win the Italian Serie A right there. So I think for me, they have everything in their hands right now. So if it slip off, it's definitely their fault. So for me, I think we should be talking about Inter already winning the Italian Serie A.
Conte has shown us over time that he has a pedigree of doing well in league competitions. Remember when he came to England. Remember what he also did with Juve right now. Last season was more like him testing the waters at Inter. Now he's actually showing us what he can do. And with Lukaku firing on all cylinders, Lautaro Martinez, look at a host of good players they have in that team. And then coupled with the fact that the biggest rivals are faltering. That is the biggest advantage they also have. Juve is not exactly showing the brightest of colors. We also look at AC Milan, who have fallen off the pecking order in recent weeks. So maybe it's just Inter's title to lose at this point in time. So I would not bet against Conte winning the Serie A.
And in this Spanish La Liga, Real Sociedad played a 1-1 draw with Athletic Bilbao. And to the mother of all competitions, they call it of all club competitions, that's the UEFA Champions League. Chelsea and PSG they drew first blood last night as they took first leg advantage there in the UEFA Champions League. This is the BBC Premier League update. When we return, we'll talk about those games.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Adi Adedoyin at the BBC Sports Centre. It's advantage Chelsea in their Champions League quarter-final tie against Porto. Thomas Tuchel's side bounced back from a test in a few days with a 2-0 away win against the Portuguese champions in their first leg. This was the perfect response by Chelsea after last weekend's embarrassing defeat to relegation threat in West Brom in English Premier League. More from the BBC's Ian Dennis.
Phil Foden the previous night, and another promising England international, Mason Mount, on the scoresheet, as he was the go-to man as Chelsea gained an excellent result. They hadn't created anything until Mount's sharp turn and shot put Chelsea ahead after 32 minutes. Porto enjoyed the better moments in the first half. Urube with a volley, Mendy extended to keep out Otavio's corner, and a Pepe header. In the second half, Chelsea squandered headers. Werner and Azpilicueta, Marega and Diaz had chances for Porto, but after Pulisic rattled the frame of the goal, Chilwell seized on a Corona error, rounded the goalkeeper with a composed finish to leave Chelsea in control.
Let's hear now from the Chelsea manager Thomas Tuchel, who says the job is only half done.
Overall, we escaped with a very, very good result, but it's quarter-final and we have to keep on going. It will be necessary to have another top performance and top mentality on next Tuesday.
Liverpool say racist abuse on social media cannot be allowed to continue after Trent Alexander-Arnold and Naby Keita were targeted. Both had racist emojis sent to them on Instagram in the lead-up to Tuesday's Champions League defeats to Real Madrid. Liverpool said they'll work with the relevant authorities to try to identify and prosecute the offenders. The Arsenal midfielder Willian says the authorities need to do more.
We as a player, we cannot do a lot. We report it, we share it with you guys, and we speak about that, but we want action. We don't see any action, from the authorities.
And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Thank you for sticking around with us right here on Splash 105.5 FM. This is Sports Bang, and straight up to the UEFA Champions League. I don't know if anyone is surprised by the results from last night, especially there at the Allianz Arena. Bayern Munich 2, Paris Saint-Germain 3. I was surprised, really.
Yeah, maybe. But then it was a thrilling encounter. Maybe you shouldn't have been entirely surprised because PSG are also heavyweights. Maybe not on the continent, but then you also look at the quality they have in the squad. You think that they can also, and then looking at the finals of the Champions League last season as well. Bayern didn't entirely dominate them in that game. The way they whitewashed Barcelona, the way they whitewashed everything, that came ahead of ahead of PSG in that particular one. But yesterday I saw what I would call a air raiser. It was a thrilling encounter last night. One thing is, just like I always tell, people like Tunde Adebayo, PSG played to their strength yesterday. They had only 40% of their possession yesterday, but then they were so clinical.
It took their chances.
They had the trickery of Neymar in their ranks. They had the pace of Mbappe also in their ranks. So all they did was, whenever they had the ball, they played the ball very quickly to those guys and tried to get something out of that game. Neymar had about 2 assists in that game as well. Bayern had 31 goal attempts in that game. They controlled, they tried everything possible, but then maybe they missed that clinical cutting edge that Lewandowski will bring in the final third and all that. But I don't see them out already. I still think they have a very huge chance. We've always known PSG had to be bought last.
Pack the Burns could be something different entirely.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I think, like you rightly said, I think they really missed Lewandowski in that game yesterday, because I felt someone that has actually scored over 25-30 goals for them in a season. There is no how you won't miss his impact, especially playing against a team like PSG. I felt if he was there yesterday, probably those chances that he missed, he would have actually converted them. He would have actually gotten the goals, and, probably we would have been talking about something differently. So I think, it's not over yet, but it's a huge advantage for PSG going into the second leg, especially playing at home. 3 goals advantage. That's something really huge in the Champions League. All they need is just probably a draw and or even get 1-0, and that's the end. But then it's far from over. These guys are the defending champion. You do not want to actually underrate them going into that second leg. So I think, we're still looking forward to that second leg, and it's going to be a very, very amazing encounter.
And Mason Mount, they call him Lampard's son before Lampard left. But this man has proven that
he's no one's son.
It's not one's son, really.
it's just
about
good.
his quality.
Definitely. If he was about being someone's son, trust me, Tuchel would not be giving him a chance. He is actually giving him again at this point in time, and he's actually proven over time that, hey, I have the quality, I have the capability, I can actually deliver in the big stage, and he actually did yesterday. Amazing performance he had for Chelsea, yesterday night. And for me, despite the fact that Chelsea were that good, I felt Porto also were wasteful in that game, because if they had actually taken those chances that actually came their way, maybe we would have been talking about a draw, even getting a goal in that particular game. So maybe we might want to say this is probably over, because coming to the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea Tuchel will do everything possible to make sure that he doesn't actually lose guard on this one and make sure he qualifies to the next round. But then, in the world of football, in the game of football, never say never.
Maybe Porto as well remember West Bromwich Albion and what they did at the weekend in Stamford Bridge.
Definitely.
Maybe. But of course, like Mason Mount says, it is just halftime in that game as far as it's concerned, because the second leg is still there and everything will be left to play. Europa League games later today. United forward Marcus Rashford is available to face Granada. That's in the first leg of the Europa League quarterfinal clash there. Anthony Martial, of course, is sidelined with a knee injury, while Eric Bailly misses out after testing positive for COVID-19. Juan Mata has been included in the travelling squad alongside 18-year-old Anthony Elanga. And for Arsenal, it's not good news, as Kieran Tierney has has been ruled out for up to 6 weeks with a ligament damage. I mean, it's so sad to see a player who is so talented. I mean, you see his quality on the pitch, being plagued by injuries. But of course, that's the situation of things there. Ajax against Roma in the Europa League. Arsenal against Slavia Prague. Dynamo Zagreb against Villarreal. Granada against Manchester United. Are you expecting any upset here, Faith?
Well, in the game between Granada and Manchester United, yes, any upset can happen. Yeah, Manchester United don't have a good record against Spanish teams.
Stop this unbelief.
No, as a matter of fact, they don't have good records against Spanish
not
teams.
Like Manchester United.
Well, Granada also, they're coming off the back of a bad result. I think they lost 3-0 to Sevilla last time out. So maybe you look at that and say they are not also in a very good form right now. But anything can happen in that kind of game. You also look at Manchester United. They've also been, wobbling and fumbling at some point in time this season. At moments where you'd have expected them to cross the line, sometimes they don't. They wouldn't be able to do that. But, right now, you still look at that game and say Manchester United will go in as favourites and they should get everything to get over the line in that particular game.
I feel like Ajax Roma might be the game to look forward to here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, two teams that you really don't, you cannot predict what happens in this particular one. But, it's one game that you would definitely enjoy.
Indeed, you will enjoy the front page of Sporting Live. Before we leave this morning, Manchester United are set to be weighing up a contract, a record Pogba contract offer. Okay, Barcelona to offer Dembele a new 3-year deal, and De Bruyne signs new 2-year contract extension at Manchester City. FIFA World Cup rankings: Nigeria move up to 32nd, now 3rd in Africa. Usain Bolt says Ronaldo is better than Messi. Okay, that's coming from Usain Bolt. But hey, we have to leave, with the speed of Usain Bolt, get ourselves out of the studio this morning. Thanks for being a part of our show. Thanks for being here, Ferman Adeboyega.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here. Join us tomorrow at 7:30 for Winning Friday edition of Sports Bang. Get to win something for the weekend. My name is Blessing Fowowe. Au revoir.